Thursday night, the boys are in action. It's Pittsburgh, it's Cincinnati, it's the Unk Show, as we called it today on the morning show. That's Rodgers and Flacco. 5.5-point numbers, 44.5. Now I'm seeing some 45s in the marketplace. Good time here on Thursday night, Tom Vecchio. How we feeling, Tommy boy?
I'm feeling great overall. I wouldn't say I'm feeling great about this game. Okay. Certainly not looking like the most exciting game. I will say, Flacco got there last week in terms of some props and some yards, and that was solely based on garbage time. And ultimately, we don't care if there's garbage time. We just want props to come through, whether it's early or late, it really doesn't matter. I think a lot of people are expecting the Steelers to come away with the win. I'm on that same side. The points, Donnie, you and I were discussing right before we came on. I think the points are really, really tough tonight. There's a logical argument to be made to say just take Cincinnati, home team, short week, divisional matchup, and kind of move on. I really don't know which way to go.
Joe, I look at this game and I say to myself, I don't know who's getting fooled here. Like the baseball game that's coming up in about maybe an hour or so. The trickery on this line. The Pittsburgh Steelers have a better offense and a better defense here, the better football team. But why is this line still sitting at 5.5 when even the best player on defense for Cincinnati is not even going to be available? It's a sieve over there. Why are we believing that Cincinnati can hold on in this game and maybe cover a spread?
I just think it's a divisional matchup, right? And, you look at the game last year in this situation, it was Burrow and Russell Wilson chucking it for over 300 yards each. It was almost 80 points in that matchup. And again, as long as they protect Burrow, I think Flacco, I think they're going to be able to at least move the football. I do feel like Chase Brown is a key for Cincinnati to potentially cover this 5.5. I would take the points with the Bengals because it is a divisional game. But I'm going with the over. I like 44.5. I think we are able to eat. I understand the rushing attacks. I'm on Chase Brown over the rushing. But I altered Yoshivas and Higgins tonight.
Yoshivas.
Hey, last year he scored against Pittsburgh. Keep an eye out. Yoshivas.
Who was the quarterback that night?
If Gesicki didn't tear his pec, I'd be on him. I can't be on the tight ends tonight.
Why not?
But, maybe Darnell Washington.
Nah, this Fant, Joe. This Fant's going to eat tonight.
I like the over, though. I do like the over tonight.
Got 45.5 now there, Carver, for DraftKings. But I look at this game and I say to myself, it should be easy Pittsburgh. But we know these games play out. It's a short work week. It's on the road. You have a team that's no defense, old man Joe Flacco, a defense that can get a pass rush after with a bad offensive line.
Yep.
Does this have to be just like vintage Flacco for them to hang around? Because I'm telling you, I'm having a tough time with this one.
Yeah, I like the under tonight, Donnie, to be quite honest with you. I think that this game's going to be a little bit of a slog. Now, look, Thursday night games over the years, generally that's where we've looked.
Yeah.
We've talked about this a few times here on 30 Minutes to Kick Off. We've had some high-scoring games on Thursday night. We've had a few crack the egg. I don't think that this is one of them. Now, I think a reason why a lot of people are on the dog tonight, we have had this ridiculous run of primetime games where the dog has not just been barking. I mean, the dog's been winning. We're 12-9-1 straight up. The dog in these prime times, 15-7 ATS, and I think 6 of the last 7 straight up as well. So they've really been at it. I can't get there. I'm not getting involved in a 5.5 tonight. It's under now 45, Donnie. That's a great, because I liked 44.5 earlier. If you liked 44.5, you love 45 for the under. I'm on the other side of Joe with that. When have you ever heard Joe say the word under on the show?
Not true. Not true. No. Not true. I was under Memphis and Arkansas in the college earlier in the year.
Come on. Thursday night football action. By the way, switched it up a little bit tonight. We went live on TikTok as well.
Wow.
Whoa.
Piling in here. They say they love Joe Lisi's hair. They don't believe him on who he's taking tonight. They want to see some alt parlays out here in these streets. That's the way we go. So a little extra additive. But if we do look at this game, right, and you see it's Rodgers and Flacco, 2 elder statesmen here. Here's what I'm having a tough time with. You guys know me. I love touchdown prop passes, over 1.5. This should be an easy one for Rodgers. But, Tom, I was going to start with you first. When I look at the Pittsburgh Steelers, DK Metcalf is a really good wide receiver. But I don't see anything explosive in that offense outside of DK Metcalf. Am I wrong on that, Tom, to say I'm pulling back just slightly on the Steelers just because I love explosives? And I don't know if I get that tonight.
That's what part of the problem with Steelers is this week to me. You know, Calvin Austin is out for the second straight week in a row. My mindset for the Steelers coming in is get in, get out, get the victory. Whatever happens, happens. Like, stay healthy. It's a short week, you know, on the road, all these sorts of things. So whatever it takes to win, if that means 1 passing touchdown, 2 rushing touchdowns, anything that's not in their normal game plan, but just the path of least resistance, just get the win and get out of there. So to see Rodgers fall under his passing yardage total and passing TDs solely because they're just trying to control the game via the ground, that wouldn't surprise me.
Because here's the thought process for me too. And Joe, I'll start with you first. I know you love running backs and typically like even some secondary options. I've watched this number today for Jaylen Warren. It's 49.5, just using FanDuel right now. Like, you should be able to run the football. He is healthy. He should get 15 carries and be able to get to that, Joe. Like, if you're looking at the running back side for the Pittsburgh Steelers, like Kenneth Gainwell was a pretty good fill-in at his time, 26.5. But when I look at Jaylen Warren, why can't he be in the 50s tonight?
No, he can. I mean, it's a good look. I just think if you're Aaron Rodgers and you have a dead and just beaten down team, you know, utilize the run after you gain the lead. So, I mean, I think it's a good look. Now, does Flacco push tempo with him is going to be the main question, whether you get the over. But I think Pittsburgh looks to attack over the top. I mean, just the way I mean, here's the thing. I don't think Pittsburgh's defense is as good as Green Bay's. So therefore, Green Bay took a different mindset, right? They utilized Josh Jacobs, could rely on the front seven. I know Pittsburgh's good, but I just don't think the defense is as good as Green Bay. I think they take a different approach with old man Rodgers, looking to get maybe a double-digit lead and then rely on the rushing attack. But it's a good look. Would we lose Carver?
Yeah, Carver. He didn't like. He said he couldn't stand your breakdown of this game. But Tom, running back position here. Talking about Jaylen Warren, Chase Brown, the 2 head dogs. Neither one of these guys at 50 yards. The one thing I look at, like, I don't think Cincinnati can run the football. So I'm not going to buy Chase Brown low, let's just say. Now, can he get 50 yards? Of course he can. But I still do think, like, if we're looking at the Pittsburgh Steelers as a favorite in this game, Tom, Warren should get the touches to get the 50 yards. What do you think about even anybody else besides Jaylen Warren on the ground?
I think Jaylen Warren's great. Like, I legitimately think he's the primary option they will be looking to. And it's not just about his rushing. I think it's also his rushing plus receiving. That's really good. Sitting at 74, we've got to remember he missed the Dublin game, but we're talking about 3 games he's had 47 yards or more on the ground, and he's had multiple games with 30-plus yards in the air alone. So he's game script independent. If they somehow fall behind and or it's close, he's going to be catching the ball. So to see 40 and 40 from him, 40 in the air, 40 on the ground, would not surprise me. So that's why I prefer his rushing and receiving rather than just the rushing. But I do think he should be able to get to 60-plus yards on the ground.
Now, Joe, how about your boy Samaje Perine? Interviewed him at the Super Bowl, 17.5 here. Come on now.
I did take him for an anytime touchdown. I utilized him for the jackpot. That's my jackpot pick. Samaje Perine. I don't like his yards. I always like him in the receiving game just because of checkdowns. So if Flacco is under pressure, check down to Samaje Perine. But I took him for an anytime touchdown. Let me just see the price I got. Carver's internet dropped, so he doesn't have Verizon, obviously.
Come on now, get it. Look, Restream's been pounding me.
Plus 550. Plus 550 with Perine tonight.
Bang.
Speaking of backup running backs, if we want to touch on Kenny Gainwell. Kenny Gainwell in the receiving market.
Yes.
Do not like him. And I saw a lot of people buying into him. I like Kenny Gainwell under 18.5 receiving yards. And a lot of people, I think, are taking what he has done out of context, where you look at the game, again, that he got the spot start when they were in Dublin, where he had 35 receiving yards. But in the games that both him and Warren have played together, he has 14, 10, 16, and 4. His season average outside of that Dublin game is 11.5, and his prop is sitting at 18.5. That is crazy to say that you want him to go over. It's about the under for Kenny Gainwell receiving.
Kenny G at this point right now, just cycling through some people out here saying hello in the chat box. Good stuff here. Welcome everybody in and having a good time right now. But we are starting to break this game down, have some fun, see what we can do with this, and get after it. Now, if we are looking wide receiver position, Jamar Chase, 75.5. His number's been going up, Tom, all day. DK Metcalf, 68. It's so funny. It's almost like when these games come out, if you like Jamar Chase or DK Metcalf, bet them the minute that the number comes out, because as you get closer to game time, these numbers always get higher. But are we leaving anybody else, or do you think, though, that one of these top wide receivers, Tom, underperforms? Where are you looking at?
If I'm looking anywhere else, it would be to Noah Fant at 27.5. Just a good kind of check down option for Flacco with Mike Gesicki now out for, whatever amount of time. So I would look to Fant. Higgins, I would honestly avoid. It would be Chase, Fant, or drop down and take Chase Brown in the receiving game.
Yoshi Voss, 20.5. Listen to FanDuel. Now, hear me out on this, too, Joe. I'll start with you first. Again, DK Metcalf is a very good wide receiver. DK Metcalf can break a game open. But if he doesn't, there's a lot of targets to be had. Let's just say Pittsburgh throws 30 times tonight, which isn't even a lot. DK Metcalf gets a large portion, but I start looking down this list, Joe, at the tight end position. Jonnu Smith, Darnell Washington, I know you like. Pat Freiermuth. There's a lot of tight end options tonight for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, I would like Washington. Again, I don't think he's utilized enough, especially in red zone opportunities, just because of his size. The guy's 6'7". And I know they like to utilize him occasionally, but in this type of game, early type of kick and early start to the week, why not utilize him? 23.5, he could potentially get to 40. I just, in these type of games where we know the tight end is always a value to Aaron Rodgers, I like to go to Washington. I did take him. I think it was plus, let me just say, I think it's plus 320 on FanDuel I put him in a parlay, anytime touchdown. But I like his yards over the 23.5 tonight.
He's my option for the jackpot.
Who do you got
on for the jackpot?
Which one, Tom?
Darnell Washington, TD jackpot on FanDuel.
By the way, and Tom, I'll keep it with you right here. Because, again, the thing that's puzzled me again with the Steelers, I do think they win. Team total, I think, when I was looking at it, was on, I want to say
25.5.
25.5 with some juice, yeah. I think they can get there. But obviously, somebody has to score. And I do think Aaron Rodgers can throw over 1.5 touchdown passes. Not even a bad price, like minus 130 tonight. But who are those secondary options? Like, we just went over the tight end. Are there any other wide receivers on the Pittsburgh Steelers? Because when you look at their target counts, it's not a lot, but somebody has to step up outside of DK all year long at wideout, no?
Right. So Calvin Austin is out, and that just presents an opportunity for Jonnu Smith, Darnell Washington, even Pat Freiermuth. Roman Wilson is someone that a lot of people have been talking up simply for the fact that he has to play in, when they're playing in two wide receiver sets, or it's going to be him or Scotty Miller, obviously a bit of a journeyman wide receiver who's been on the Bucs. He's been around a lot. So it's going to be one of them. I honestly think Wilson, Miller, and/or Washington, one of them catches a touchdown tonight outside of DK.
Yeah. Somebody's asking a question here for you, Tom. Hold on. His name is LaFart James. Fannin or Gainwell flex tonight? What do you think?
LaFart James.
Yeah.
Who was the first one?
Fannin or Gainwell at flex is what he's saying. So I'm guessing.
You could start Harold Fannin, but I would not start Gainwell. Fannin is on the Browns.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't start them in the flex because they're in an early start. That's just like logistics. You would never start a player in the flex spot for the Thursday game.
Flex him out. By the way, can I get anybody to buy in on Scotty Miller tonight? Can we get any buy-ins on that, Joe? Come on, one catch for the boy. Goes around.
Doing the Scotty Miller. You still think he's back with Tom Brady in Tampa, Scotty Miller?
He's back at Bowling Green, pal.
Well, there you go. I'm looking through the list here. Who else could step up in the receiver? I mean,
Roman Wilson, 12.5.
I was just looking at that. I mean, Roman Wilson at 15 plus is plus 108. How about, you want to take a shot? P. Ryan 15 plus 180. I mean, he's going to be in there on third downs.
You know what, Joe? It's a good point you bring up, because when I look at this game, I do think Pittsburgh gets home. And we don't have a quarterback, let's just say, with athletic mobility in Joe Flacco. You know what that means. Hot hike, pass rush coming in. Closest guy to me, tight end and or running back. Even Chase Brown, like the running back position catching passes tonight for Cincinnati, I think makes a lot of sense. I think it does.
I do too. Again, I'm all involved in the checkdowns to the running backs. I think Chase Brown, he had 30 yards last year with Burrow, but we've seen in the primetime game, Zach Taylor utilizes Chase Brown a lot. He certainly did that last year. He hasn't been as involved in the offense this year as I think as many would like, but in this type of game, I think he's going to have to be utilized. Again, that'll take the pressure off of Flacco and get them running sideline to sideline. So it's not a bad look. You want to take P. Ryan, you want to take I like Chase Brown receiving. 25 plus isn't bad. 25 is plus 186. 20 is plus 120 in the receiving game tonight.
Interesting stuff on that point here. How about this, Tom? Quick little fantasy question for you, Tom, if you got it. Should I sell Pickens high or keep him? Somebody's asking on TikTok.
I mean, it depends on what you would be getting back, because in theory, it's not a bad idea to sell high on Pickens, knowing that CeeDee Lamb, there's a report today, I think he's expected to play this week.
Yes.
So obviously his production is going to decrease overall. But like, if you are getting a quality running back that you need for a roster deficiency, sure, this would be the time to do it, because as soon as CeeDee comes back, and if he is the CeeDee that we expect, 12 targets a game, 80 plus yards and a touchdown, Pickens can still be good, but he won't be as good as he once was.
All right, how about this? You know I love this, Tom. I'll keep with you real quick. Bet365, like the team betting props tonight. Juicy on the touchdown passes. 2.5 for the game, minus 170, or rushing touchdowns for the game, 1.5, minus 105.
1.5 rushing touchdowns?
Yes.
Tonight. Oh, give me the 1.5 rushing touchdowns.
It's cheap too. It's cheap. Like if you were putting that on there, the team you obviously worry about is the Cincinnati Bengals, because when you go up and say, all right, let me just go to the I'll go to the team props. Maybe this even shakes it up a little bit for you. The Pittsburgh Steelers rushing touchdowns tonight, which I've done this a lot in the past. It's minus 200 for one rushing touchdown for the Steelers. If you flip it over, Tom, to Cincinnati, one rushing touchdown, it's plus 110. Now, they haven't scored in the last 4 games on the ground for Cincinnati, but that's one rushing touchdown at plus money. It doesn't matter who gets it. Anybody can get it.
Yeah, I think the 1.5 for the game is certainly very interesting.
Yeah.
You know, part of me wants to know on 365, can you do an SGP of Steelers, any rushing touchdown plus Steelers money line?
I don't. Hold on. Let me check that right now. I don't think you can, but let me just log in just to see if that's going to be an option.
Because that would be interesting. It's minus 200 for that, and then it's minus 250 to 260 for the money line. That would put you close to even money if it's just any Steelers rushing touchdown plus Steelers money line.
Oh, it does let you do it, Tom.
What are the odds? Minus 115-ish?
Cincinnati plus 5.5, right, is what you're saying. Take them on the side. And then over a half a rushing touchdown, it's plus 2.
No. Steelers money line.
Oh, Steelers money line.
Steelers money line and Steelers anytime rushing touchdown.
Oh, Steelers. Gotcha. My bad. Let me just switch this up here. So
like they just win the game. You don't care about the spread.
So we'll go rushing touchdown minus 200, and then we will go to Steelers money line. You said or side?
Money line.
Money line. Yes.
There you go.
Minus what?
Minus 115.
115. Yeah, they're both over 200. Should get you close to. That's honestly not bad. You don't care about the spread at that point. Just come with the win.
It's one of my favorite markets there. The team props and also the game props in that spot here. But touchdown props tonight. The people love touchdown props. I'm just going to keep it on FanDuel to keep it simple. Lacey, only one guy that you're going to have to pay juice on tonight. It's Jaylen Warren, minus 130. Everybody else is plus money.
I mean, that's great. I mean, great value. I told you, I'm on a ton of people. I'm on Washington. I'm on Samaje Perine, anytime touchdown. I would take a shot at Yoshi Vash at plus 550. Again, I'm not going Chase. I'm not going T. Higgins or any of the, the big guys. I'll take a shot with the secondary options and see. And it wouldn't shock me on prime time. What's Rodgers' number? 20-1? 20-1 might be. Don't be shocked. Aaron Rodgers, 20-1.
They're both 20-1.
How about Cam Grandy? I don't think I've ever heard that guy in my life. Joe, if you took Flacco and Aaron Rodgers, 20-1 a piece here, throw them in a parlay, 305-1.
That's incredible. I did take Rodgers at 20-1. So I'll leave you with that. I like the over 44.5. I'm on Washington, Chase Brown receiving, Yoshi Vash as well. And hopefully my Samaje Perine comes home for the jackpot.
There you go. All right, man. Be good.
All right, boys. Be good.
Yep. Peace. There it is. Lacey's out right now. Now it's me, Tom Vecchio. We'll wrap it up here, have some fun with this stuff. But looking at this game, right, I haven't bet a teaser yet this year. Game looks like it should be very teasable because I'm with you on, okay, you're going to parlay some. I would be hard-pressed to see if the Steelers lose. Then we've seen crazier things happen. I was shocked last week. Like, hey, teaser Philadelphia Eagles, they're going to beat the New York Giants on Thursday Night Football. They got wasted. But when I look at the matchups in this game, like the Eagles came in as damaged goods not playing well. I'm not saying Pittsburgh's being great, but they have a very good record. And every win for them now where they can sort of take control of the AFC North. I don't think they lose. But every matchup is in my hand. Like offensive line, I'll give the upgrade there to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Defensive line, it's Pittsburgh Steelers. Linebackers, it's Steelers. Secondary, it's Steelers. Quarterback, it's Steelers. The only thing that I think that the Cincinnati Bengals have a better option at is the wide receiver position. Like I think the Steelers do win this game, but I'm just worried about that. Hey, 5.5, too much on a Thursday Night Football game.
What would you What would your thoughts be if this was in Pittsburgh, and what do you think the line would be? Because I think it would be 7.5, right? It would be 2 points ish at it's not called, right? It'd be 7.5. It'd be past 7. It just wouldn't be 6.5. That wouldn't be enough. So it'd be 7.5, maybe 8, or 8's down to 7.5 if this was in Pittsburgh.
Wouldn't you? It's funny you say that too, because you always have an advantage at home, specifically on a Thursday night game in division. Yeah. But like, I actually would prefer like if the Bengals were in Pittsburgh, because like it's never going to be too big of it. The issue is, can Flacco play well enough and they protect him? It's not like, hey, I think the rookies on the road is going to have trouble. Like, Joe Flacco's been to Pittsburgh a million times with being with the Baltimore Ravens. I actually wish this game was in Pittsburgh, because then I probably would look more towards Cincinnati. But this game sort of leveling it out, saying I just can't see the Bengals in a one possession game in the fourth quarter against the Pittsburgh Steelers. But again, I just like the big playability for the Steelers, I don't think is going to be there, which is what's giving me the problems.
See the big playability for the Steelers. That's why, like I said, I think their mindset in this game is going to be get in, get out, get the win, and that's it. So they won't be scheming up big plays, because it's like they don't need to, right? It's like they're not being pushed by the Bengals. So they're just going to let's pick up a first down. Let's get a touchdown. All right, let's take a field goal. Let's take a field goal. They don't need to push for more touchdowns, because the Bengals aren't going to be a threat to them. So they're just going to move it methodically, pick up a first down, keep it simple, and get out with any injuries, just because the Bengals aren't a threat to them offensively, that they don't need to stretch the field. That's like what I'm honestly thinking. It's like, hey, you can't punch back, so we're just going to keep you at arm's length.
By the way, TikTok question here for you. Cody Richmond 15 says, start Warren tonight or Saquon Barkley over the weekend, Tom?
Only one of them?
Yes.
I want to know that's a crazy decision, because if you are deciding between, that means if you are starting other running backs, I mean, I really do like Warren tonight. I think he's going to have an awesome game. But if you aren't willing to start Saquon in what should be a very bounce back game for the Eagles, although it is a tough defense, I don't know when you would start him, but I really like Warren tonight. I would start Warren. I think he goes for 80 plus combined and a touchdown.
He should. This is one of those games, Tom, I'm going to wake up tomorrow and I didn't bet it enough, where I go, Rodgers 2 touchdowns, Warren 62 yards, which easily hits his number. Like, I feel like it's one of those here. Grelwy, this is for the weekend, I guess. Trey Tucker, Jerry Jeudy, or Troy Franklin. How about that?
The Trey Tucker one is interesting because both Brock Bowers and Jacoby Myers are not practicing, listed as questionable, whatever it is. So just from a volume standpoint, combined with the fact that they're 11.5-point underdogs, will put the Raiders in a passing game script. And without Brock Bowers, there was enough issues with their offense. But if Jacoby Myers also isn't there, along with his name being involved in trade rumors, there's no reason that Trey Tucker shouldn't see a minimum of 8 targets. Jerry Jeudy is tough just because you're dealing with a rookie quarterback. He threw Dylan Gabriel threw 51 times last week. I do not think that is the game plan for them. I think Quinshon Judkins will have a massive game on the ground against Miami, and I just wouldn't start Troy Franklin. So I think Trey Tucker by default. By
the way, some of these games, Tom, do you see some of the windy conditions that were anticipating, like in Cleveland? It should be a wild weekend as it is, but no weather conditions or concerns tonight, which is what you love.
One point to you saying we should just bet this more.
Yes.
Steelers money line, Jalen Warren TD as an SGP is plus 132. That should just get across the board. And then, like you said, tomorrow morning, that is as straightforward as it gets. Why am I not just betting that?
Look at this, Tom. Got any more? Look at it. Got questions filling in here. Give up Waddle for Judkins. Would you make that deal, Tom?
Yes. Because there's also rumors that Jalen Waddle is going to be traded, but Quinshon Judkins, I think, is going to eat this week. I think he goes for 100 plus. He scores. I was talking to Kev with him last night.
By the way, too, Tom, and again, I'm having fun because we're getting some questions up in there to be answered. But betting this weekend, really quick, and it doesn't matter what the opinion is going to be. I look at the Miami Dolphins right now, and I say to myself, they're ready to implode. You're going to get bad weather in Cleveland. You also hey, is Waddle going to get flipped for a number 1 pick and they'll accept it? Or, take a look at the defensive end. Phillips, is he going to be gone? Tua can't stand his teammates. They hate him as well. I look at that minus 2.5 in bad weather. How would you approach the Miami Dolphins in a game where, again, I just saw a tweet, 50-mile-an-hour gusts could be possibly there? This is the last place Miami wants to be.
I wouldn't play the Dolphins in any capacity. I have the Browns. I haven't bet on the Browns, but I have the Browns in my pick'em pool. I already have them selected. I think Quinshon Judkins goes over his longest rush, which I talked about with Kev last night. I think he scores a touchdown. I think it goes over his yards. There's just too many things going in his direction. if the Dolphins can get shredded by Rico Dowdle, I think that Junkins will do it. I will also say my favorite bet of the week is going to be Rashee Rice to catch a pass on the first drive. I haven't seen that market posted yet, but I will love that, and I will tweet it out.
Playing his yards, because I think I saw him in the low 40s.
Where?
Yeah. Hold on. I'll tell you right now. I had it up today. Let me just give me 1 second here. Let's go reception yards, and I'm going to go Rice.
Because I checked earlier
Hard Rock. It's moving up 2 times. It was 42.5. It's 46.5 now at Hard Rock.
I'm going to be shocked.
That's heavily juiced, though. That's an alt line. So let's call it in the mid 50s now. He was really low this morning too. Maybe one of those.
Yeah, I would love access to that book, but I do think he'll finish in the high 50s.
Yeah, Connecticut up there, tough scene there for you, huh? Not being able to buy in. All right, let's get a round robin on this game tonight. Get the people out of here. If we're looking at the side total and some props, who we bang? Because Chops Block says, "Who's that touchdown tonight for you, Tom?" Let's go.
Like I said, I have Darnell Washington for the FanDuel TD jackpot. There is some positive coach speak about him. I don't mind buying into it again. Calvin Austin's out for the second straight week for the Steelers. I will certainly look there. Like him for a TD. Again, Jalen Warren, it's a little bit juice price, but I really do think he plays the primary option. I think Jalen Warren goes for 80-plus combined rushing and receiving. He also scores. And then I said Kenny Gainwell under 18.5 receiving yards. His role is diminished with Warren back, and him needing to be utilized in the receiving game, I think, would mean the game script went against the Steelers.
Gotcha. For me, again, Pittsburgh Steelers -5. And again, I don't have official wagers in here, but this is how I would play this game. The Pittsburgh Steelers at -5.5. I still can't get over the rushing props. Like Jalen Warren's up to 49.5. Could have got a much better price earlier today. He should get 50 yards tonight. I think it makes a ton of sense. Aaron Rodgers should throw 2 touchdown passes tonight. You should, honestly, if you want to delay the juice, Tom, over 2.5 touchdown passes, because for me, I struggle with Cincinnati scoring a rushing touchdown. But if we correlate like what the team total is supposed to be, you should get at least 1 touchdown pass out of Cincinnati tonight. Like, I do think 3 touchdown passes happen in this game, but I asked you before, too, like the rushing touchdowns, 1.5. Like, you get 1 in the first half, you're probably getting another rushing touchdown in this game.
That's why and they both could be from the Steelers. So the Bengals can't stop anyone on the ground. So the fact that I'm so high on Warren tonight would just lean me to the rushing touchdowns.
So there we go, man. How we feeling about tonight's game? Kick off in about 15 minutes, Tommy, huh?
I'm feeling good. We got some baseball. Yeah. We have baseball all weekend. It's hockey season, which I'm super pumped about as usual. Right. Flyers are down 1-0 after 1. And then, playoff baseball, full slate on Sunday, and we got a doubleheader on Monday.
Yeah, I had the under tonight, 8 runs, Milwaukee and the Dodgers. That's 1-1 bottom of the 6th inning, looking fantastic right there. And also, when you get to extra innings, you don't get nervous anymore because there's no runner on second base where it's like you can get 5 runs. So, and also, I really like the over 7.5 in game number 2 tonight, which is out there in Seattle. I think that makes a lot of sense. So, it is what it is for the boys, but Tom and I will be back Sunday morning. Have some more action here and bring all that heat to you. Thanks for chiming in, too. And I'm actually on TikTok for the first time tonight broadcasting. A lot of people in the chat box here firing stuff back and forth, so we'll keep doing that as well tonight for us, Tom. All right, boys, we'll be good. Enjoy your